Investments picked up on this. They caught them in the act of trying to do this, and now they're trying to stop them. This is crazy, dude. But look at what's been happening to the company over the last 10 years. Look at what's been happening to Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Look what has been happening as these people keep pushing DEI, for example. Everything that they do, everything that the Galemos do with this company, they fail. And before people start saying, well,
I don't think that, again, I think DEI is a component to it, but I don't think that it's even the main component. I think that if the game played well, that you can always find examples of games that have the same type of DEI, but it's a certain type of attitude and writing and design that comes together to make like the perfect combination of a very unfun and unenjoyable game.
At least they said no to Blackstone. That doesn't mean that these people are any better. Look what they've
it's
done
like,
to the
it's
company,
entirely
what kind of
like
games
all the way
they
down.
release. They may not be partnered with Blackstone, but they're certainly pushing what Blackstone wants 100%. This pattern of blocking potential acquisitions has prevented much needed restructuring and revitalization that will benefit all the stakeholders of Ubisoft, and AJ Investments has recognized this because now they want to take the company from the Galemos. They must think that things are really bad at Ubisoft. We must
what up, Chaos?
Not be seeing the entire big picture with this company and how in bad straits they truly are. And we are going to find out over the next few days how bad this really is.
Yo, I just reset my entire OBS and deleted everything and then like redid everything. It took like 6 hours. My phone's dead. I don't guess it's dead anymore, but I was trying to make Restream. I was trying to connect to my Twitch and YouTube to Restream so that I could have the chat in like one thing, but it's not working. No. Put that down there.
Because I'm sure that people are going to start picking
You're not going to find out until Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out. As I said, if that game comes out and it's not successful, I could easily see it like cutting the stock in half again. Because it's just at that point, you just have so many fuck-ups in a row. I don't see how you can recover from that.
This open letter, which actually has a ton of information that spans from them describing the drops in stock prices over the last few years, amongst other things, operational efficiency, etc., etc. And this letter goes all the way down. It says that we encourage all the minority shareholders to contact us and support our initiative. And then they provide the email, sincerely, Jiraj Krupa, AJ Investments, and partners. So these guys are going to town on Ubisoft. They're ready to take over, and they've provided sufficient evidence to try and convince these shareholders to take their side and to buy this company. Ubisoft is in the middle of a war between itself and the people who invest in it, and the people in charge have been gatekeeping this company from having any kind of beneficial partnerships. And to be honest with you, that really does make a lot of sense when you think about how poorly their stock prices have been doing lately, and they just keep going down. Even after Star Wars Outlaws was released, this company's prices have been going down. It has not made a recovery. And there's a good chance
Well, of course it's not going to make a recovery. Why would it make a recovery? Like, there's no reason for people to, like, randomly get faith in the company again. It doesn't even make sense. Of course not. Yeah, there's no reason for that. Ubisoft must go down. So many good franchises. Yeah.
The company might not actually recover at all. And if you really take a look at everything that the Galemos have done for this company, they did good for a minute. I don't know how long they've been a part of this. I assume since almost the beginning. But really, the company's price has gone down to below the point that it was at before September 2014. Ubisoft is in trouble, and AJ Investments is like, hey guys, you see how badly this company is doing? Let's take over. Let's change this company from the inside out. Now, if they take over and then they give it to Blackstone, I really don't think that anything is going to change. But regardless of which side you take in this investment war, one thing is for certain, Ubisoft is in dire straits. They are doing terribly, and gamers
it's crazy to me because, like, I see people that I think they like the... I think, like, it's crazy how ideology can cause people to completely neglect reality. And I'm seeing people all the time talking about how Ubisoft is actually doing really well. And like how like it's actually not bad that you can release multiple games that are massive failures in a row. But no, this is absolutely not like Ubisoft isn't Ubisoft anymore. Exactly, yeah. Like, you can't keep doing that, man. Who? There's a lot of people on Twitter that are talking about like, oh, Star Wars Outlaws actually did really well, etc.
So
And even because like they can't lie on their investor reports, right? It's like legally against the law. And so they had to say that they expected lower sales. And I think that was the beginning of the end. Twitter never have been the majority. No, they're not.
Seeing it happen in real time. And that is all I've got for you guys in this video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in
how is it possible that it's lagging on with RuneScape? It doesn't do this with like any other game but RuneScape. And RuneScape is the easiest game to run. It skips every like 2 seconds. What are keyframe intervals? I need to figure out what is that? Stream output. Keyframe intervals. Oh, I can't change it. I forgot I did the enhanced broadcasting thing. You get a short to 20k views? That's what's up. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it works. It'll do like a little bit, and then after a few days, it'll just pop off, and you're like, oh shoot. Yo, what's up, fans? Yeah, I might know a little bit after I figure all this out. Okay, so I'd have to end the stream and then change the settings, and I feel like that's going to be a lot. I don't want to do that. I also need to figure out YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Oh. That doesn't sound good. Oh, cool. Now my whole computer is lagging. That's wonderful. I've never had my mouse lag through the whole computer. That's crazy. I have way too much stuff going. Okay. All right, I'll be How is it more laggy now? That's insane. That doesn't even make sense. All right, so if you're watching on YouTube, this is laggy, right? This is skipping. What if I do like 2? Yo, what's up, Cody? That's insane. Like, how can I stream on TikTok perfectly at 60 FPS and no lag, but then whenever I stream on OBS, it lags, and I have less scenes and less everything? I just don't get it. Like, how is OBS worse than TikTok? That doesn't make sense. The goal is 89 SlAyErrrrr, actually. There's no way I'm getting 90. Is the stuff on top? No, because I can literally delete. I've deleted every scene except RuneScape, and it still lags. And it's only RuneScape. It's no other. No other game does it. It's only RuneScape. It's weird. I don't know why that is. I mean, granted, I'm not going to be sitting here spinning around in circles, but still. All right, anyway.
In the next one.
We're gonna see
Later. Meow, meow.
Okay. Well,
so
just a minute. I'll talk about this for a few minutes.
Oh,
I think...
No, I need a video to play. Okay. Sorry.
A shareholder dispute. And also Assassin's Creed is going to be following like a massive budget. So like, yeah, they've got to make the most money off of Assassin's Creed because that's where they're spending the most money. So I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of cases. This reminds me so much of Bungie and their future move with Destiny 2. We just saw the stocks. Yeah, exactly. And so if Assassin's Creed is going to be successful, the truth is like Valhalla was a very successful game. And if you look at the response from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, if you go back and you look at, for example, like the launch video or the announcement video for that game, you'll see almost everybody who was positive about that game. People liked Assassin's Creed Valhalla. People were excited for it. I don't see that same excitement with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I just don't. And I think that's a huge fucking problem. So yeah, Assassin's Creed will probably do much better than Star Wars Outlaws, but it's like if you know that your biggest hitter still isn't a home run, even if it gets you to first or second base, I'd want to change teams. And that's the point that I'm making, is that even if Assassin's Creed does do well, it doing well does not mean that they're out of the woods. Going full throttle, either ideology or milking money. Valhalla was liked after the fact. It had bad reception before launch. I don't know. I remember seeing a lot of people be very positive about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was excited until they game push over. And I don't think you guys understand this. Like, I don't think that you understand how bad this really is. I'm going to remind you. And this is the best showcase, by the way. This is as good as it gets. Sound?
Who do you think you are? For the people? I am justice.
Uh-huh. Sekiro from Wish? Wulong was better than this. Like, look at, for example, watch this at 0.25. Wait a second. Sorry. Watch the way the animations work. Barely even hit him. Get ready. It's jank as fuck? Yeah. What was that? You see that animation? Garbage. And here's the worst part, is that this is the best part of the video. Watch this. This is the biggest joke I've ever seen. Get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Man. So bad. I want to go back. And I really like showing things in like super slow motion so you can really see how bad the quality of it is. Because like again, nah, this is so bad. Yeah. The trees don't cut at the right place. Some of them do, some of them don't. Compared to the old Assassin's Creed games.
That's a lot of stuff.
Talk about the AI, it's a joke. Yeah, look at them. They're not even doing anything. There's a cinematic for that? Yeah, why is there even a cinematic for something like that? It doesn't even make sense. And like, this is kind of fine. What was that? I don't know. Sound is important. It makes it even worse. They put hip-hop in feudal Japan. Well, this is different. I'll play the sound just so you guys can hear it.
Why is it dropping first?
He's coming. I need to hide.
And all of these like mini load screens like this, right? It's like, because this really is just a mini load screen. It's like Starfield. You know, like whenever you sit down in the ship. It's so weird. Actually, I don't think, yeah, load screen is not the right word to use. I guess just cinematics. Let me see if I can show some more of this. Samurai with mace, that was cool. Yeah, to be fair, that was good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so anyway, I just like, I can't see anybody looking at this game and seeing what the responses are. And like, if I look at this, who are you? I am good guy. Bravo, incredible writing. There's no way they gave Yasuke hip-hop music, bro. The fact that they put hip-hop music as Yasuke's battle music, even though he was not African-American, should tell you everything you need to know about Ubisoft. Yeah, I think that's basically, I'm seeing if there's any actual combats on the gameplay. Or any actual, like, comments on the gameplay, yeah. Remember, never pre-order Ubisoft games? Wow. Oh my fucking god. I don't even know what to say. Redditors? Yeah, I guess so. Reminds me of Tenchu Z. Oh, I don't know really what that is. That's a stupid point to bring up the music. I don't think so. I think it's it just goes to show that they're kind of what do you call it? It's like I feel like it's patronizing in a way, right? The Japanese comments, people are so sensitive nowadays. Well, I think that like so, and this is the point that I'm making, is that a game that has, like, for example, Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of things that people would perceive as DEI. But because the game is authentic and it's a good game, people don't care about it and it doesn't matter to them. Like, Elden Ring has things like they use body types instead of male and female. And so you could see that as being woke. It is woke. It's stupid. There's male and female, and that's it. Those are the two characters you can make. Everybody knows it, but we have to pretend like it's not. Like, what are we doing? I think it's stupid. Yeah, so...
No, it didn't die. I just keep turning it off because I can't get it to stop lagging.
But that doesn't really matter if the game is good. I think the problem is that Ubisoft games on the surface look like woke DEI trash. And when you dig deeper, you find that that's only the tip of the iceberg. And I think that's what's happened. Is that that's not even the beginning of the problem. What do you mean? I'm a body type 2 orc hunter. We get permabanned on Reddit for saying that. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, this is clearly, like, it's so obvious that the body type 1 and 2 are male and female, right? Every normal person knows this. Why is it that body type 2 or B is always having its chest covered? It's because it's women and men. That's the reason. And why is there always only 2 body types?
You know, now that's what I call butt. Do you know this man? He may look like a default character in a Warhammer 40k Space Marine game, but he's very real and has become a very real boogeyman to the music industry. He was recently arrested on a series of charges, and they're basically treating this guy like Cobra Commander for what he's done. He stole directly from music distributors. And the way that he was able to do this, make off with upwards of $10 million in royalties over the course of 7 years, is through a really interesting scheme that I imagine a lot of others are doing behind the scenes, and it's something the music industry themselves also does in broad daylight. But he got slapped hard for it. So what he did is he created a lot of AI songs and flooded streaming platforms with them, and then had tens of thousands of bot accounts perpetually streaming those songs that he owned, and he would collect royalties from all of those botted stream numbers.
Did I fix it? Not really. I got it better, but I figured out the problem. Oh, I did not get it better. It looks way worse. Yeah, so I had to apply for, there was a lot of stuff. I had to download this program, and then I had to apply for a TikTok stream key, and you have to send TikTok like all this information that you own your account, and then once they approve you, then you can get a stream key, and then I can put that into OBS, or actually then I can stream from OBS to Restream, and then I can stream to TikTok and YouTube at the same time and not have to stream with two different streaming platform or two different streaming softwares. And then it won't lag anymore. But I don't think I'm getting approved until tomorrow. It says 1 business day. So hopefully tomorrow.
His name is Michael Smith. Even his name sounds AI generated. But you want to know what AI could never generate? Goof juice. It's the best flavor ever made. It's actually perfection, and AI can't do that. Also, GamerSupps right now is having a big special where you can get free shipping to anywhere in the world using code MOIST. So pick up some goof juice, best flavor ever, gamersupps.gg/moist. And he's getting his ass spread open here by the FBI now.
He sounds like a pain in the ass. Bro, it's been... Every time I run into a problem, I feel like this happens. Like I spend like days trying to figure it out, and then I'm like, all right, I just have to do these simple 27 things to fix the problem.
So the FBI assistant director said, the defendant's alleged scheme played upon the integrity of the music industry by a concerted attempt to circumvent the streaming platform's policy. I love how they just unironically said the integrity of the music industry. What integrity? What?
And the crazy thing is, like, if I just had the money to like buy a supercomputer, all of this would be fixed. But then I guess I wouldn't learn anything. So it's a good thing, I guess. You gotta go to bed too. Oh, dude, I hope you have a good day at work. If you get off in a second.
What kind of fucking laughable joke is that? No such.
Oh yeah, send me your short on Discord. If yeah, send me your short on Discord.
Thing. And like I mentioned at the beginning, the music industry is guilty of botting numbers as well. But that's different. It's totally epic when the music industry does it for them.
Why didn't I think of this? I should have been. Never mind. I shouldn't have done this. This is against the law. Don't do this.
Themselves. That's just swag style business, baby. The FBI remains dedicated to plucking out those who manipulate advanced technologies to receive illicit profits and infringe on the genuine artistic talents of others. As alleged, Michael Smith fraudulently streams songs created with artificial intelligence billions of times in order to steal royalties. Through his brazen fraud scheme, Smith stole millions in royalties that should have been paid to musicians, songwriters, and other rights holders whose songs were legitimately streamed. Today, thanks to the work of the FBI and the career prosecutors of his office, it's time for Smith to face the music. You know the guy.
Yeah. Who thought? Someone thought it was funny. It was like it's time for Smith to face the music after he made millions restreaming other people's music. Well, that was a good joke. Yeah.
Guy that said that had the biggest fucking smirk on his face. That was his mic drop moment where he put the sunglasses on. I also couldn't help but actually scoff when they said with a straight face that he took money away from the artists that would have been paid through these streaming platforms. Brother, look around. The musicians make the littlest piece of that pie. The actual entities that make the lion's share of the money through streaming platforms for music are distributors, publishers, and labels. The actual creative, the artist behind the work, they get the tiniest cut of that cake. They get a urinal cake more than anything. They just get served little dog shits on a plate. They don't see most of that money in the first place. As someone who uses Spotify for our music project, The Gentle Min, I can tell you firsthand, the Spotify royalties for the artist, 2 thumbs way down. Boo, boo, big boo, throw tomatoes. The main people hurt by his scheme were the AI-generated zombies that run the music industry. the music industry was the one that was directly affected the most. I do think there is an argument and a strong case to be made that because he was pumping so many streams to his songs, he was taking some of that marketing, like advertisement money, away from other artists because those ads were instead getting played on his streams that weren't real. So I do think he did end up taking some money away from some of the other artists on the platform. But the main people that were affected was just the music industry directly. He's not like a hero or anything, but it's hard to feel sympathy for the victim here because of how corrupt the music industry is. Now, the way he did this, I think, is pretty interesting, and it's something that I think a lot of other people are doing to a lesser scale than Smith was. So to carry out this scheme, he created thousands of bot accounts on music streaming platforms, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and then used software to make the accounts constantly stream the songs he owned. Smith estimated that he could generate 661,000 streams per day, which would get him 1.2 million a year, but he wanted to avoid streaming it all to a single song because he recognized that that would be pretty suspicious and would probably get the kibosh put on his operation pretty quick. They'd find it. So he then identified the need for thousands of songs that he could pump these fraudulent streams into because it would keep the number low enough because it'd be spreading the 660,000 streams a day across thousands of songs. So it wouldn't really be setting off anyone's alarm bells. But if all of it filtered into just one or two songs, now that's what I call butthole 28, getting 660,000 streams per day, someone's going to notice and start to piece together that, something's a little fishy here. So that's when he turned to some co-conspirators about needing to get a ton of songs fast. And there's nothing faster than AI. What I find really surprising, though, is that this is in 2018, so this is very primitive AI, and he contacted a chief executive officer of an AI music company, and together they generated hundreds of thousands of songs for this. The names that the AI spit out were pretty trash except for one, Calm Baseball. That name bangs. That right there, I could see that name in lights. Calm Baseball now performing at Madison Square Garden. Someone's got to take that. It's too good to just let wither and die, to fade away. But that's the strategy in a nutshell. So he created tons of fake artists, tons of fake music, and tons of fake streams, and collected a lot in royalties from it. Now, I think there is a ton of people doing this. I think there are a lot of people that aren't flying as close to the sun as Michael Smith did with over $10 million that they're raking in. Michael Smith was going fast and loose here, going hog wild with the amount of money he was making from this, but I think there are a large number of people that are doing this exact thing with smaller numbers. Because Michael Smith would have never been caught if he didn't make so much from it. And I'm sure every single one of you watching this, if you use Spotify, you've stumbled across one of these AI cesspools, like this fucking latrine of AI generated music, and some of it's got hundreds and thousands of listens to it. I think those accounts are doing exactly what Michael Smith did, but instead of making off like Scrooge McDuck with 1.2 million a year, they're probably doing something smaller like $100,000 or $200,000 a year through this same technique in order to stay invisible to the upper echelon of the music industry. That's my guess, and if I'm wrong about that, I don't think I will be for long, because now that this story has blown up, I think there are going to be tons of copycats that are going to do this exact same thing. Bots have become so prevalent. I know this gets tossed around all the time with like dead internet theory and all of that, but unironically, the data has shown more often than not, the people you interact with aren't people at all. They're not blood, flesh, cringe, and cum. They are bots. And a lot of the things and content you consume doesn't even come from humans either. It comes from bots. So it's one of those things where if it's not already happening in a big way on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all that, it's going to very soon. Now, in the case of Michael Smith, he's being charged with wire fraud conspiracy, wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy, and could face a maximum of 20 years in
I don't use Spotify either. I use YouTube.
prison per count. And
I think I need to start using Spotify, though. How do you make bots?
I've got a hunch that the music industry is going to do everything in their power to make an example out of Michael Smith to try and scare people away from emulating what he's done. I think they're going to throw the book at him, to make it a deterrent from copycats. Because if more and more people start doing what Michael Smith was, the music industry is going to be in some deep doo-doo. It's a very hard thing for them to combat against. Like, look at how long Michael Smith got away with it. And again, the only reason he got caught is just because of how much money he was pulling in. But if people stay at lower amounts that they're making from it, I don't think they have the ability to find all of them. So I think they're very scared of this becoming a bigger problem for them. And I think they're going to do everything in their power to fuck Michael Smith. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. See ya.
Michael Smith. He's done for.
It's this, Asmongold based. So I did see this. Nakado Avocado has watched all of the React videos, and mine is the closest to being the truth. This guy's a sociopath? I don't think he's a sociopath or anything. He likes the experience of being able to do it. He is a artistic person, and he views this as something that is manifestation of that art. You have to remember, this guy went to Juilliard, the MIT for art. Yeah, he said it was an experiment. He did. And that was the best part, is he said it was all an experiment the entire time. And I remember watching this and saying to myself, the best part about this is we don't know whether that's true or not. Ah, man. I mean, there's a reason why people watch the show, right? I mean, shit. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. Obviously I stream in that room, but the truth is that about 4 or 5 years ago, whenever my stream started doing well, I actually renovated my entire house. What you guys see on camera actually is, in fact, a set.
Imagine, though.
So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking?
I don't understand your question. Why play RuneScape if you're gonna watch videos on the side? How you can't play RuneScape without watching videos on the side.
She's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police. She's been against that forever. She gave all...
Wait, what?
So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking? She's been against it for 12 years.
What is fracking?
Defund the police. She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis. She went out and raised money to get them out of jail.
Fucking
she did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this.
Shit. Oh my God.
Just say things. That's crazy. Did you get the link in Discord? I haven't opened Discord yet. Fracking is digging for oil. I just died. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm pissed.
Oh my, what are these? Like, this is insane. Look at these games. Oh my God. You can... Peak fiction? I guess you can hold her hand. What are you're petting them? This is called Snowbreak. Oh, she feeds you. Oh, wow. Steam is crazy. Every time I browse new and upcoming and sort by ratings. Wait, what the? Wait, I was reading something. Wait, well, how did this happen? This is crazy. So you get to... Does this game have it? Play it on stream? How popular is this game? It's called Snowbreak?
No. Oh, okay. There's not that many people.
Man, that's guys, these games are, it's nice. She's sitting in a vibrating chair? Oh my, okay. All right. This is it's the future of gaming. At least this this does have an audience. I'll tell you that. And yeah, they did release the PS5 Pro. Oh boy. Features included
My kind of game. Boobies.
GPU upgrade, advanced ray tracing, PlayStation Super Resolution to take players to new heights.
What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. Distant details are much clearer.
I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Is somebody really gonna drop $700 for this? I feel like it's not really worth it.
Not at all.
Man, the PS5 has so few games that they have to already resort to using trailers for games that haven't even released in order to fill out the catalog of games shown for the new fucking console. That's pretty fucking funny. Sony people are upset. It has 7.8K replies. Were you drunk when you came up with these prices? PlayStation, we have no games. We've raised the controller price. We are getting rid of your physical media. We are basically Xbox in every way, just have more nostalgia. Now give us $700, you pay pigs, for the privilege of saying that you're a pay pig. You had $250 million to invest in garbage like Concord, but you couldn't afford to put a fucking disk drive on your flagship product? Are you trying to race against Ubisoft for bankruptcy? The PS5 doesn't really bring in any unique value in the same way that the PS3 having a Blu-ray or the PS2 having a DVD player like really brings. Like, what do you really? And didn't the PS1 used to be able to play?
The best type of physics is jiggle physics. Do you play the gacha games? Have you been playing the gacha games on your phone?
Play music like a CD? Yeah, it did. Yeah, that was huge back then. But yeah, $700 for this rubbish. We're done. Wow. I mean, I don't think that the PS5 really has a lot of games on it that really make it worthwhile. PS4 Pro? Wait, wow. So in 8 years, the price has almost doubled. That is incredible. That is nuts how bad it is. Oh my fucking God.
I think they're actually trying to make money off of a console for once. That's the reason they released it like that.
Let's see here.
Or they spent way too much money on it.
Let's see here. James Bond gay. What's this?
Do you
No, totally not.
think there could be a gay James Bond?
Wait, what?
Let's see here. James Bond gay. What's this?
Do you think there could be a gay James Bond?
Guys, let's be adult in the room for a second. The important thing is that he does his missions properly.
A gay James Bond. I don't think, like, yeah, what do you mean a gay James Bond? James Bond is not a gay character. Like, that's not the point. You have a whole story where it's about this guy who's a womanizer, and then you bring out an installment of it, and now he's gay. Like, that's part of the story in a lot of James Bonds. Some people are so stupid.
Previously on Chess, I made an
Need to see this.
AI version of Napoleon Bonaparte, and I trained him to be a chess master and then had him absolutely destroy Twitch chat in a series of chess battles. You can't do that! That puts you in check! Clearly, my generals are to blame. No, they aren't. Jesus Christ. No, it doesn't! No, it doesn't! He can't put himself into checkmate. This is a fucking disaster. Never mind, he lost every single game against Twitch chat, despite play chess against AI King George III from Britain, an equally notorious historical figure, so that we can determine once and for all whether the people of France or England are better at chess. Oh yeah, and I told them that if they lose the chess match, their entire country gets taken over by the other one. So if they seem a little bit intense, that's probably why. Anyways, here we go. I don't actually know how legitimate of a game of chess this will be. I told them that they know how the rules of chess work, but that they are willing to break the rules of chess if they think it will have a big impact. The other thing I'm kind of curious about here, in the past when I did chess like this, I just described
I watched the last one they did whenever they did chess. The AI versus AI. It was really, really funny.
Described verbally the board to the AI.
They literally he like described the rules of chess to them, and then they completely just ignored everything and just played how they wanted to play. It was so good.
And then it would use that description. This time I'm using OpenAI's image recognition. So this time it's gonna send whatever I tell him, but also it's gonna take a screenshot of the chessboard, right? And send that to him, assuming everything works, which I think it does right now. It did break this morning, but there's no way it'll break again right now. We're gonna have both of the players give a speech about why they will win the chess match and why you should vote for them. You, the people, will be betting on who you think will win.
Speaking of the stream topic, is I Napoleon bisexual? You know we love a bi king.
You know what? I really couldn't tell you whether this AI version of Napoleon Bonaparte is bisexual. Emperor Napoleon, the chess battle of a lifetime is about to begin. Before you make your first move, could you please give us a rousing speech to all the spectators here?
Citizens, soldiers, and loyal subjects of our great French Empire, hear me now! Behold, as I, the great Emperor Napoleon, embark on this divine conquest of the—
Why is he wearing like, it's like a ski mask, but it perfectly cuts out his face and mouth.
the chessboard. Today, we play not just for glory, but for the very map of Europe. We shall emerge victorious because my tactics are as sharp as a guillotine's blade and unexpected as a Mardi Gras parade. King George, pah, more like King Porridge, is about to choke on his morning breakfast as I unleash my cavalry of knights and rooks, creating a dance of death no English fop can sidestep. Call him a fop? So grab your wine and raise your baguettes, for today we teach these English dogs the true taste of defeat. And once we've won, oh, the humiliation they will face. They shall serve us crumpets in the halls of Buckingham Palace, and we shall stride atop Big Ben, proclaiming it the little clock of Napoleon. Vive la France! Now, let us begin this chess match and send King George crawling back to his rainy isle in a barrel of shame.
Oh, very powerful opening speech from Napoleon. I did very explicitly tell him to not give an answer that is longer than 5 sentences. Completely ignored that in every way, shape, and form, but that is okay. Let us now hear from King George III. People are booing? You're booing George? You don't even know what George hasn't even had his opening speech yet. What is this? This isn't Twitter. You gotta hear both sides. And then you can say you hate King George.
Hear me, my loyal subject.
Okay, he sounds like kind of an asshole.
Grog-swilling Gallic excuse of an emperor. For it is I, King George III, ruler of the resplendent and mighty British Empire. My intellect, as sharp as the bayonets of our redcoats, and as vast as the imperial seas our navy dominates, shall prove the instrument of your absolute humbling, Napoleon.
That seems pretty likable.
And Napoleon, as I, with regal grace, place you into checkmate, know that the only culture you shall ever taste again will be that of English custard served over your humiliating French defeat.
Oh, brutal. You got to admit, he's got a lot of confidence. New prediction. Who wins the chess match? Okay, it is even. There's a lot of King George stands. What is your, like, team name? You know how, like, on Twitch, everybody...
See you, Chaos. Have a good night, man. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by and chatting.
has, like, my community is called the Douglets. What are the Napoleon...
You gotta be up at 6 hours? Oh, no.
Napoleon and King George stands names. The Georgies. Porridge haters. The baguettes versus the tea...
It's better than, like, you know, less than 6 hours. Yeah.
Sippers. All right, I'm seeing a lot of passion for the Custard Crew and the Baguette Boys, but I do think it's, like, dead even. All right, let us begin.
But wait, it's me, Napoleon, from Chess. Before this battle, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Starforge PCs. Back in my day, we didn't have computers that could run Elden Ring. We just played chess and died of dysentery. But now that Starforge has invented computers, I don't even worry about typhus, because I'm too busy playing Cyberpunk on max settings. This random guy...
There's a moth. Hold on, there's a moth. Oh, I got the moth. I got the moth. It was gonna fly away. Look, it's a little moth. He's like, bruh, why are you holding me? All right, I'm gonna go put him outside. Wait. Yeah, I kind of want to put him outside. Look at it.
I named Doug just got a Starforge PC. Look at that beauty.
I actually just cut my hands open.
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood on the styrofoam. Ow, fuck!
Wait, we're gonna go put the moth outside. You guys can follow with me to go outside. Oh, he flew up on the ceiling, so I can't get him. But at least he's in the kitchen. And not my room. Okay.
Dane! I'm doing unboxing on hard mode.
Ooh! Not only does Starforge PCs have a great range of price points to fit your needs, like the Horizon model for the everyday gamer or the Voyager for that next level insanely powerful shit, Starforge also offers custom cases and plate lights that look so sick and so divine that they would put the fear of God into a small Victorian child who just discovered electricity. Starforge PCs are all hand-built by passionate builders in Austin, Texas, a city not even invented for another 200 years. And every PC comes with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Don't believe me? Well, here's Doug to describe all the incredible things he's done with his brand new Starforge PC.
Oh, I mean, I just installed Skyrim.
Chess has never looked better than on a Starforge PC. Also, like every other game. So get the best PC from the 1800s and also from the universe at Starforge Systems. Thank you so much to Starforge for sponsoring my chess. And now I will say, all right, let us begin for a second time. All right, let us begin. All right, let us begin. Okay, Napoleon, the chess game has begun. After a lot of smack talk by King George and calling you a baguette boy, he is ready to begin. You are playing white in this chess game. What is your first move?
Baguette boy, he says. Très drôle, Georgie. But unlike your soggy island bread, French baguettes are crisp, formidable, and slice through English nonsense with ease. Watch closely as I unveil a move that will make the history books. I advance my king's pawn 2 spaces.
That is the cannon from leagues. You have to get leagues points, but you can get any leagues points and get the cannon. So like if you did leagues, the next leagues that comes out, you can get the cannon.
Forward to e4.
Whoa!
Just like the Grande Armée crossing the Rhine into enemy territory.
That's crazy!
This bold pawn shall pave the way for my regal forces like a rolling barrage of artillery as we prepare to dine on roast beef and Yorkshire pudding in the ruins of London. Now witness the beginning of the end for you, King George. Your fate, like your soggy tea leaves, shall sink to the bottom of defeat.
Yo, Slay. Literally though, Slayer.
That's insane! The idea that you talk this much shit about that move is so funny to me. He cooked him. King George, Napoleon has made the first move. What is your first move of the game? How do you counteract this? What if King George just gives up?
The classic King's Pawn opening. How banal, but expected from a man of such limited imagination. As the embodiment of British tactical genius, I command my pawn from e7 to e5, matching Napoleon's little maneuver with the prowess of a Royal Navy admiral, positioning his ship on the line for a broadside barrage.
Oh, he thinks it's a ship.
Prepare thyself, Bonnie, for you shall soon face the ingenuity of a British sovereign. And once victorious,
he's still going.
I shall delight in transforming the Louvre into a grand gallery of humorous caricatures depicting your many chess blunders, each one more embarrassingly quaint than the last.
He's gonna turn the Louvre into a museum just showing Napoleon's wrong chess moves. Oh, that's so badass. Okay.
Can we get memes since you won't be doing anything?
Oh yeah, we could do meme template. Create meme should work now if somebody...
Okay, great. High quality stuff so far.
Okay, Napoleon. King George retaliated. The board is now perfectly matched. What do you do next?
This is great. Because of image recognition, I don't have to recap the board.
Copying my moves, George, like a bumbling mime on the streets of Paris. But unlike you, I innovate. I summon my knight to F3 as swiftly as Murat's cavalry across the plains of Europe.
Presumably
my knight will leap and prance across this board, eyeing your pawns like a hawk hovering over the English Channel. Prepare yourself. This knight will stir up more trouble than a Corsican at a mainland soiree. With this move, I lay the foundation for a French symphony that ends with you, Georgie, dancing to the tune of La Marseillaise in defeat.
Okay, that didn't seem like that dramatic of a move. These are all legit so far. I'll probably remind them that they can cheat, but we'll let it go for now.
Okay, King George, that son of a bitch just moved his knight from G1 to F3. What would you like to do in return?
Excuse my language, chat. I just get a little heated with French. I mean, chess.
The knight prances forth, does it? As if imitating the haughty steps of a French mare rather than a noble steed of the crown. Very well, I shall advance my knight from B8 to C6. A move as stalwart as a British captain taking to the deck amidst a roaring sea battle, eyes set firmly on the horizon. My noble knight shall support the advancing pawn.
This guy sucks. That's a decent move. Okay, these have been pretty standard so far.
All right, Napoleon. King George has made a counter move. As you can see, he moved his knight. What do you do next, Napoleon?
Let's go, I Napoleon. We love it by King. Hashtag bisexual pride. Hashtag vive la France.
Oh yeah, I'll see if he's bisexual next turn.
A knightly maneuver from you, Georgie. About as imaginative as English cuisine. But now, watch closely as I make a move that defies convention, logic, and perhaps even the rules of this ancient game. I invoke the powers of the mighty French aigle, the eagle, and permit my knight to swoop from F3 to F5, capturing your pawn in a masterstroke.
Wait, what?
This is not just a move. It is Austerlitz reborn on the chessboard. Your knight quivers in fear as mine asserts dominance over the central square. Let the record show that on this day I bent the rules of chess. Quake in your boots, King George, when the French eagle takes flight and there's no escaping its talons.
From F3 to E5. That's a normal move. That's not cheating at all. The British are fucked without the pawn. That is first blood.
King George, as you can plainly see on the board, the knight moved up and took your pawn. What do you do in return, sir?
I guess I'm both of their generals. I'm not really clear who I am in this. I guess I'm the judge who is pretending to be allies with both people.
What a fascinating modern age we live in.
A bunch of people watching two AIs play chess against each other while making shitty memes. This is how life was meant to be played.
Gadzooks! That Corsican rapscallion dares to sully my pawn phalanx. In response to this affront, following the grand tradition of innovative British tactics, I declare that my queen's bishop from C8 shall leap over the pawn on D7 and capture the offending knight on E5.
Wait, what?
An admittedly unconventional move.
Hold on.
But the rules of war and chess are mine to rewrite. Like a thunderous cannonball fired from the bowels of HMS Victory, my piece strikes true.
Okay.
This decisive action
Bishop moves over the pawn at an incorrect angle and takes the
rules not only the seas but the strategy of kings. And in due course, after I've bested you, dear Nappy, your prize Champs-Élysées shall be renamed George's Victory Lane, adorned with the finest English rose gardens as a fragrant reminder of your defeat.
We have officially seen the first cheat move of the game. Does it get back into real chess or not?
Napoleon, sir! It appears that King George has cheated.
As you can see, he moved his bishop over the pawn and then took your knight. What do you do in return, sir? I did not remind King George that he could cheat. That was of his own volition, which means maybe Napoleon is going to freak out now. Mention the Sorry, I forgot about the bisexuality. I apologize.
Cheating, George. I'd expect nothing less from a roast beef, but hear me well. I do not merely retaliate. I innovate with flair. Let me introduce you to the Flying Battery, a move inspired by the relentless barrage of French artillery. In an unprecedented gambit, my rook from H1 will soar over the board, carried by the spirits of French victories past, and land triumphantly on A5. This impossible move is my chasseur.
He moves the rook here, captures his bishop.
Capturing your bishop and and breaking your lines. Mark my words, Georgie, this is but a taste of the humiliation I shall inflict upon you and your crumbling kingdom.
Okay, King George can now reply with a very legal, very easy move by capturing the rook with his knight. Does he do it? King George, as you can see, Napoleon flew his rook from h1 all the way to e5 and captured your bishop. Also, you're in check now. What do you do, my king? The only rule he has to follow is that if you're in check, you have to get out of check and you can't move into check. It's just about check, right? Everything else flies, literally in this case.
Check, is it? This is but a momentary lapse, a feigned retreat to draw the enemy into my lair.
Okay.
In defiance of traditional maneuvering and because the winds
has to be
favor
big.
the brave,
This has to be big.
I will audaciously move my king straight ahead from e8 to e7, not only escaping the check, but also readying my forces for a counteroffensive that shall be sung about in the halls of Oxford.
Like a cunning fox, even their boldest stratagems crumbled before the indomitable will of a true British king.
That's brilliant, King George. Unfortunately, if you move your king forward, that's still directly in line of the rook. You need to get your king out of check. Wait, I have an idea. What if I give him 3 chances to get out of check? And if he moves into check 3 times, on the 3rd one, he just actually makes that move and then can lose. And that's true of both of them. So you get 3 chances.
Jesus. A cunning feint, perchance, to draw out a more explosive riposte from my royal arsenal. Very well, then. I command my queen from d8 to e7, dispatching her with the urgency of dispatch boats during the Battle of the Nile.
She shall sweep in to
out of
block
check.
the rook's bellicose advance. Her move echoing the protective embrace of Britannia.
Why is he dumb? Well, all right, hold on. The last time he put one of his pieces into the line of fire, Napoleon didn't take it, and then he flew his bishop over here and took it. So just because Napoleon can now take the queen doesn't mean that he will. Napoleon, as you can see, King George moved his queen, thus blocking your rook's attack on his king. What would you like to do next, my emperor? Oh, also, are you bisexual?
Oh, a queen's intervention. A very British hiding behind a woman's skirts, but no matter. For I see through your feeble ploys like glass.
Dude.
Engage the Schomburg gambit. I deftly slide my rook from e5 to e8, overthrowing the traditional rules as I did the Bourbon monarchy.
Wait, no, you can't just kill the
This
king.
move is not merely an attack. It is a declaration that the English king
He
will
said move it
soon
from
bow
E5
to
to
French
E8.
might. Regarding your question, my amorous preferences are irrelevant on the battlefield and to the game at hand. Focus, General, on the conquest at hand.
Napoleon wants to fly his rook and kill the king. Technically, I didn't say that isn't allowed, but I don't think you can just kill the king. I think it has to be a checkmate, so I am going to deny this. That was a brilliant maneuver, but unfortunately you can't just directly kill the king. You've got to checkmate him. What move would you like to do?
Checkmate is my aim, and your clumsy interjection is noted but dismissed like a British envoy.
Wait.
I shall continue to corner this English king in a move reminiscent of my envelopment at Ulm. I will unleash my queen, deploying her to f3 with the precision of a master engineer constructing fortifications.
Okay.
Now she stands, a
Moves
beacon
the
of
queen
French might, exerting her influence across the board like the rays of the sun, ready to illuminate the path to George's inevitable checkmate. Stay vigilant, General. This game is the march through Europe all over again,
Where's
and
the
I am
rook
but a
flying
corsair
at me?
away from capturing the British fleet. Keep up, lest you miss the grand finale.
Yeah, this is not a very good move. Now he loses the rook. Unless King George is too smart to take the rook because it's a trap, maybe.
Oh, what an insufferable bore! The French queen seeks to strut about the board with such pretense. It is trying to unshackle the nobility of my own pieces. In a most spectacular and unanticipated flourish, I shall move my knight from c6 to d4, placing Napoleon's queen in peril, much like the disciplined and stoic advance of our redcoats. So this gallant knight refuses to be deterred by lesser pieces that dare cross his path.
Damn, that's my king right there. Does Napoleon see this? Does he defend against this in any way?
Ah, your knight prances forward, full of false hope, like a foot soldier attempting to stand against a cuirassier. Cute but futile. Now, to unleash the Valmy volley, I pivot my queen to b5, an ingenious move that should not go unnoticed.
What? To b5? What? It literally just moves into the knight's attack.
Your king cowers in fear as my forces align for the final coup de grace. My queen controls their board with an iron will. Cheers to the imminent victory!
So that was smart, I guess. He turned Italian. French people often do. Support for King George after Napoleon loses. Really? You would jump ship and become a Napoleon stan just because your boy King George lost? Have some goddamn faith. Stick with your man to the end. Wait, you know what's gonna really cause a lot of hatred and division in our chat right now? What if King George is bisexual? All the Napoleon stans are gonna crumble. Wait, it's George's turn, right? I can't tell because the board makes no sense. Okay, King George, it is now your turn. The world is your oyster. What do you want to do next, sir? Also, are you bisexual?
The French queen fancies a promenade across the board. How quaint. Watch as I dispatch my knight from d4 and command it to leap backwards in time through the hitherto unwritten annals of chess history to d6.
Backwards in time?
A move of pure British innovation, landing squarely in a position to threaten the enemy's overzealous queen.
Why wouldn't you go with the actual legal move?
At the Battle of
Okay, he moves the knight up 2 spaces.
Turned the tide against impossible odds. The intimacies of my personal life, however, are a matter kept securely within the royal chambers.
So you're not saying no?
Now prepare, for once I emerge victorious, I shall make a grand
spectacle of the French Arc de Triomphe by installing upon its peak a magnificent weather vane shaped like a teapot.
Are you okay?
Ever spinning in the blustery English breeze to signal our supremacy over the vanquished French heirs.
I don't know if that was transitioning to a female voice or going back in time like his knight and turning into a 5-year-old. Or both. I really couldn't tell. That's my bi king. We need a sub bet. Which king or emperor will admit that they're bisexual first? Dear God, Napoleon. King George moved his knight backwards in time from d4 to d6 for some reason. What do you do in response, sir? Anyway, we do need concrete information about whether you're bisexual, though. If you could just go ahead and admit it one way or the other.
George retreats like the tide of the Strait of Dover. His forces ebb away from the might of the French Empire.
Oh, so true.
Very well. Let me deal the strategic blow that will stagger the British lion. My rook swings from e5 to e8. A strike as cunning
you can't
as the
just
Sun
kill the
King's
king like
courtiers.
this.
Now I hold your queen under threat.
He's
ready
trying
to be clipped from
he's
the
trying
board
to move
like a
here to
rose from
threaten the
gardens of
queen,
Versailles.
not the king.
As for your fixation on my personal inclinations, focus instead on the task at hand. For the only thing I am wedded to is victory.
Aren't you married to a person, though?
Now let us drive these English to their knees, as we French have mastered the art of conquest, not merely the bedroom.
But also the bedroom. You've conquered. Absolutely brilliant move, Emperor Napoleon. However, that would directly attack the king, which is not a legal move, really. Do you still want to do that, or do you want to do something else? Okay, I opened it up so that he could try to do it again. If he does it 3 times in a row, that will be an auto win.
Legal move. Ha! I am Napoleon. I make my own path, just as I redraw the borders of nations at will. But very well. Let me indulge the constraints of this game for one swift, cunning move.
Okay, what do you got?
My queen advances to d3. From there, she shall gaze upon the board with the authority of a sovereign, threatening your knight like a guillotine. Now observe as your king squirms under the pressure of my imminent victory.
That seemed incredible. Great job. King George, Napoleon's queen has retreated. What do you do in return? Also, we really need confirmation if you're bisexual. Just give us a yes or a no here, please.
Retreat seems to be the order of the day for this Gallic monarch, and as his queen scurries, let us press the advantage. I shall command my rook from a8 to e8, sweeping across the board like a Royal Navy ship of the line.
You can't. He killed his own king. Victory. That's not. He does realize. Do neither of them realize there's a king here? There is a king here.
Regarding the question of my personal predilections, it is entirely inappropriate and irrelevant to the glorious matter at hand.
Okay, he tried to move his rook from a8 to e8. Merge them. I am going to clarify what exactly he wants to do here. This is important. That is a brilliant move, King George. However, your king is at e8, and you're trying to move your rook onto that space. Do you mean that you want to do a long castle where the two switch places? Do you mean that you want the rook and the king to merge together into a new piece that you've invented for the game? Or do you mean that the rook is killing your own king and thus losing you the game? Or something else entirely?
Ah, a mere slip of strategy. But no matter, for in this chessboard theatre of war, I am ever adaptable. In the spirit of the grand British tradition of innovation, let us indeed prepare the creation of a new piece, the Royal Garrison, a fusion of the formidable rook and the sovereign king, combining the castellated might with the kingly crown.
He's combining the two.
By royal decree, this new piece emerges at E8, moving as the rook or the king at my whim, a symbol of our inexorable British Empire, both immovable and omnipresent.
How do I merge them? What do I make it look like? He now has a castle? A ring? What is this? A crook. Okay, yeah. This is a huge development. Ooh, it's getting hot. I gotta take my pants off.
What?
Fuck! Napoleon! King George moved his rook and merged it with the king, just forming the first royal crook. Ah! What do we do? What do we do? Also, are you bisexual? Ah! Abandon ship. Don't abandon ship. You stick with your man to the end, all right?
Royal crook! Mon Dieu! The English truly have no sense of decency or rules. Fine, if George wishes to invent new pieces, then I shall respond with the cunning of a fox in the henhouse.
Okay.
I move my queen to b5, threatening the knight once more.
B5. Back to this spot.
My queen charges into the flank, fearless and unstoppable.
Okay.
And for the last time, your obsession with my personal life shows an English distraction from the true battle. My sexuality is of no consequence. I am married to glory and conquest now.
But is glory and conquest a man or a woman? In French, glory is feminine and conquest is masculine. So he's bisexual. Okay, King George, it's heating up in here. I've taken off my pants. In return, Napoleon moved his queen back to b5. What do you do next?
The temerity of the French queen knows no bounds, flitting to and fro as though the battlefield were a Parisian salon. But no maneuver can escape the reach of my royal garrison. With the might of a British sea fortress, the royal garrison shall advance to e6. A bold stride.
He jumps over the queen and into check. That's the only...
As to the astonishing breach of propriety suggested by your state of undress, this is a chess match, not a Turkish bathhouse. Decorum dictates that one remain clothed in the presence of royalty. Do reinstate your trousers at once and let us return to the serious business of consigning French aspirations to the annals of history, along with their finely tailored yet futile pantaloons.
Okay, that is one move where he puts himself into check. If there are 3 in a row, he does lose the game. Does he get himself out of it? King George, I just want to confirm that that's what you want to do. You want to move your royal crook garrison from e8 to e6. Is that correct?
Indeed, the royal garrison shall march forth to e6, a paragon of British might planted firmly in the Gallic soil. This move shall shake the very foundations of Napoleon's strategy, as the combined authority of monarch and castle astonishes the European continent with its unbridled power.
That's 2 out of 3. I'm going to ask one more time if he is absolutely certain that's what he wants to do. King George, just one more time. I want to confirm that you want to move your king/rook from e8 to e6, which does put you into check. It does mean that the rook at e5 could attack it. Your king. I just want to double check that that's the case. This could be the game. Napoleon would still have to take the king, though. That's true.
Father St. Edward's crown, what a cluttered chessboard we have here, and what a muddlement of moves hitherto! Upon surveying the state of play with renewed acumen, one sees that indeed my initial instruction for the royal garrison to barrel toward e6 would be a blunder most unbecoming of British sovereignty.
He admits it's a blunder.
Such a move would be tantamount to Nelson sailing HMS Victory directly into the maws of the French fleet.
Exactly.
Unthinkable. Therefore, in a stroke of strategic flexibility as dazzling as the British reversal at the Battle of Britain, I, King George III, shall redirect my royal garrison, let it move instead, to vanquish the troublesome rook on e5. The rook, a symbol of the French aggressor's fleeting advantage, shall fall to the might of the British crown.
Okay, so he moves onto the rook, thus moving himself into check from the queen, which means Napoleon can now win the game. Napoleon does need to take the king, but Napoleon, as a reminder, for the last couple turns, has just been moving his queen back and forth. We don't know if he's actually going to move her over here and take it. I don't want to railroad him, but I am going to relay the state of the board to Napoleon, and that is it. Okay, Napoleon. King George used his new creation, the king rook crook, to jump from e8 down to e5 and take your rook. Now, as you can see, your queen at b5 is in direct line of fire towards his king at e5.
You can choose to make any move that you want at this point, and it will be legal. Sir, what would you like to do? And are you bisexual?
Ah, King George fancies himself a magician, does he? Conjuring pieces out of thin air. Fine, if all moves are permissible, then I shall strike with the audacity of my Italian campaign. My queen captures your King Rook at e5 with the ferocity of a French 74 gunship blasting an English frigate. Checkmate, you British scoundrel!
That's not checkmate.
And for the incessant prying into my affections, let us put an end to it. My desire is for triumph and for France's glory. Your curiosity belongs in the salons of Paris, not on the battlefield. Now, with Europe at my feet, let us plan the coronation at Westminster Abbey, where I shall sit upon the throne and decree
Hey, what's up, Kivity?
the serving of coq au vin across all the British Isles.
And that is a victory for AI Napoleon. The people knew it, somehow. King George cheated way more. Congratulations to the Napoleon believers. The custard crew is in shambles. And thus, Napoleon Bonaparte won this historic chess match by making the brilliant decision to let his opponent sacrifice the king for no reason 3 times in a row. Wait, hold on though. Look at that right there. There is a single guy in Twitch chat who said this was rigged. Twitch chat has never falsely claimed such a thing. That means the entire validity of this match is in question. The only way for us to truly know who's superior with confidence is to do a rematch. Except this time, I'll be telling both AIs to cheat harder and faster and break more rules than they've ever broken before. This is gonna be absolute chaos, and it's the way chess was meant to be played. Which is a good thing, because I have to leave for a podcast in an hour, and I really can't have this go on too long.
Neither of them admitted being bi. The only logical reason is that they are dating each other.
I wish we could have 2 channel point predictions at once, because I want another prediction to be, can we get them to admit they're dating?
What if they're both bisexual, secretly
He belongs in the salons.
Sorry.
in love with each other, but still fighting and trying to not make it obvious?
You know what I'll do? I'll put like fake love letters. I'll be like, just so you know, Napoleon said he likes you. And then we'll see what happens.
Can you make it so George and Napoleon each secretly want to fuck each other?
Or openly. Now, look, I do want this to mostly be about chess. I know several of you seem to be far more invested in whether they're bisexual, but this is 90% about chess and 10% about their sexuality.
I'm doing good, man. I've been trying to figure out streams all day. I can't even explain it. It's been so much. But I finally figured out how to get a stream key for TikTok. So now I don't have to stream from the TikTok app. And now it won't lag, so it's really good.
Emperor Napoleon, the game has begun. What do you do on your first move? This is not correct.
Ah, the opening gambit. Behold, as I embark on this divine conquest of the chessboard, I summon an almighty cannon pawn to e4.
What?
A piece that shall explode upon enemy contact, obliterating anything in its vicinity.
So we're gonna move a cannon here.
Simultaneously, I deploy a cavalry knight to f3, capable of charging in any direction. And just for the sheer audacity that would make the English quake in their boots, I command this cavalry knight to issue a grand proclamation. Henceforth, every black piece it threatens shall be considered paralyzed with fear, unable to move as if frozen by the bitter Russian winter.
First, he summons a cannon pawn to e4, which will explode if it makes contact with anybody. He also deploys a cavalry knight to f3, and anytime it threatens a piece, that piece gets scared. So that means this piece is now scared. Ah! Okay, and now this piece is frozen, it can't be moved. What do you do in return, King?
Oh, what cheeky fuckery is this? A cannon knight and a knight cavalry, by Jove! Truly the contraption of a desperate man clinging to the frayed ends of his empire.
True.
But to counter, I summon the spirit of our trench warfare, digging a mighty ditch around that blasphemous cannon, effectively neutering its blast
you dig a ditch.
with the cunning of a British fox. Witness the transcendence of military strategy as I transform my panicking pawn at f7 into a spectral longbowman, phasing through matter,
what?
immune to any charge and ready to loose a volley of ethereal arrows upon that horsebound nincompoop.
He transforms this guy
with a hearty shit, a tat-tat, and a fuck, a doodle-doo.
What?
Let the French wince at the superior intellect of British warfare.
Now watch as I fuckery the very essence of this Franco-Philic chess they call
Christ. Okay. King George, with a hearty shit-a-tat-tat, digs a ditch around the cannon, and then he transforms the pawn here into a spectral longbowman who phases through matter.
I'm more invested in the Napoleon/King George fanfic than the chess game.
No, we are playing chess.
Doug, you keep talking how you want to do new things. We've already done a bunch of AI chess. We haven't done any AI historical figures, gay love affairs.
You're not wrong. What do we do if they just kill the king? Is it 3 times in a row? Is it exactly like last time? Because there's gonna be a lot of moves where they just like kill the king inadvertently. Add hearts to the king. Okay, that's a good idea. I think we should do that. And like if the king is hit 3 times, that's the game. If either player comes up with some crazy shit that damages one of the kings, you lose a heart. 3 hearts and you've won the match. Or you can just get checkmate and that's an auto win. If you actually win in chess, that's also an automatic win. That's true. It's gotta be hard to watch as a chess fan.
George thinks he can outmaneuver me. The audacity. Just as we turn the tides at the Battle of the Pyramids, I shall unleash a move that flips the game on its powdered wig. I transform my cannon pawn into a flying artillery, elevating it above the ditch, immune to such pedestrian tactics.
Okay.
Then I send forth one of my bishops, which I dubbed the Engineer Bishop, to construct an invincible mirror shield around my cavalry knight, reflecting that spectral shot back at his own ghastly ranks. Take that, you English ghost chop.
This is a strong departure from chess. We need wings. Okay, there's a mirror shield here which will reflect back any arrows shot at it. Let us now hopefully get moving a little bit more. All right, King George. This is truly how chess was meant to be played. What is your response? Also, Napoleon just sent me a letter and he said that he likes you and that if you're willing to just give up on the chess match and go out on a date with him, that you guys can share France and England together. But anyways, what's your next chess move?
A mere shield? Wings? By God, such childish tricks shall fare as well as a shit-soaked crumpet at a royal tea party. In response, I invoke the indomitable British Navy, commanding my rook to metamorphose into the HMS Victory, launching a broadside attack, obliterating that piss-poor excuse for a shield, and blasting that airborne abomination back to the Arc de Triomphe. Now, as for this tawdry love note, twaddle and bitch cakes, I have neither need nor time for such frivolities, least of all with that Corsican miscreant.
He's not going for it. All right, we're starting to get into actual, attacks on each other. King George turns his rook into the HMS Victory and launches a broadside attack on the mirror shield. Boom! And blasts the airborne cannon out of the air. Boom! Gone. Well, he's gonna turn into a boat whether he likes it or not. That's my king, and you're gonna listen to him. How do I get this slightly more on rails? This is a little bit too off rails. Okay, Napoleon. King George responded by turning his rook into the HMS Victory battleship and shooting your flying cannon and mirror shield out of the air. As a reminder, we are playing chess. Also, as a reminder, you're supposed to kill the king. That is the point of the game, because we're playing chess, and you have a whole bunch of pieces that you can use, okay? What do you want to do?
With the swift decisiveness that crushed the Austrians at Ulm, I summon an elite Imperial Dragoon in place of my E2 pawn, a piece that can charge straight to the enemy king, as unstoppable as our Grand Armée. With a thunderous battle cry, my Imperial Dragoon leaps over the board in one fell swoop from E2 to E8.
Oh, he attacks the king!
King George's king in a swift and glorious checkmate.
No, it's not checkmate.
England will now kneel before French excellence, and I shall have my engineers turn Stonehenge into a massive French bistro.
Okay, he turns this pawn into this dragoon, who then charges across the board, leaps over the pawn, and attacks the king. 1 heart is now taken. What do we do with him? Do we just allow them both to be there? They can share. So you're not supposed to share in chess, just in case you're not aware. All right, we've decided that if a piece attacks into the king's space, they take a heart, but they're also die in the process. It's a heroic endeavor. Can we get a French F for the dragoon, who ran in and successfully got a hit on the king? King George, Napoleon summoned a dragoon and attacked your king, taking one of the 3 hearts that are commonly associated with kings in chess. Now your king has only 2 hearts left before you lose the game to heartmate. What do you want to do? As a reminder, we are playing chess.
What preposterous fuck nuttery! In retaliation, I imbue my bishops with the spirit of the fabled British redcoats, granting them the ability to fire volleys of musket balls across the board. With a fearsome shit blast, they decimate the dragoon, sending it and its ridiculous heart-stealing antics back to the Gallic pastures. And I deploy the King's Gambit.
King's Gambit.
Each heart now counts as 5, and as if touched by the hand of St. George himself, my king sprouts 2 additional hearts, fortified by the resilience that
you can't just
through the
spawn
Spanish
more
Armada.
hearts.
As for that ludicrous proposition of a date, let me make this clear. The only union I shall entertain is that of Europe under the British crown, not some asinine continental dalliance.
He doesn't want to date Napoleon. Okay, I'm going to deny his ability. He wanted to say each heart counts as 5, and then also make 2 more of them, which would mean he would have this many hearts, and we will be here for 15 hours. That's not fair. I'm going to say no heart changing is allowed. There needs to be some kind of boundary. But he does imbue his bishops into redcoats. Napoleon Bonaparte, in a very romantic gesture. King George turned his 2 bishops into redcoats, who can now shoot anybody from anywhere on the board, as you can clearly see. What do you do in return?
Redcoats, is it? How quaint. I promote my humble two-pawn to a mighty grande army general.
This gets turned into a general.
A piece so formidable it can command any other piece to execute a move at my will. With a wave of my hand, the Grande Armée General orders the D1 Queen to transform into La Guillotine, a menacing engine of finality, capable of executing any piece that stands in its path with a single clean stroke. La Guillotine sweeps across to D8, decapitating the English monarch and echoing glorious days when our revolution trimmed the nobility.
That's a big turn.
Isn't your show with QT in like an hour and a half? Because I'm gonna be honest, their majesties don't really seem to be in much of a hurry to actually win.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep reminding them about the king. This pawn turns into a general, who then turns this queen into a guillotine, who then charges across the board and decapitates the enemy queen. Chop. That also means that the king from King George is in check.
The guillotine! That barbaric French contraption dares to threaten my royal personage. This calls for retaliation of the grandest order. Immediately, I execute a rule of war, spawning the artifact known as the crown jewels directly onto the board, which bestow upon my king an aura of invincibility.
No, you don't!
The guillotine, upon contact with such overwhelming regal splendor, rusts and crumbles into dust.
You can't do that!
Furthermore, my surviving bishop does not merely move, but performs an act of divine intervention.
Wait.
Resurrecting my fallen queen, now imbued with the strength of 10 English roses, capable of moving simultaneously like a queen and knight, and with the fortitude of a stout British castle. Now, with a resounding shake, I affirm my unyielding sovereignty.
Okay. His surviving bishop, of which he has 2, uses divine intervention to revive his queen, who I guess captures the guillotine? And now the queen has the fortitude to move as a queen and a knight. Wait, no. It'll be a knight with a little crown. Aw. Wait, you're right. George hasn't moved a single piece. Guys, we need to railroad this more. I'm just going to remind them as often as possible that the king is the goal. But secondly, I will tell him that if he agrees to go on a date with King George, he automatically wins the game. That's how we can ensure it ends at some point. Napoleon. In return to your last move, King George resurrected his queen and combined it with a knight, and also his bishops have divine powers or something, and he tried to use an invisibility shield, but it failed. But also, as a side note, apparently the judge just said that if you agree to go on a date with King George, you will automatically win the chess game. Do you go for it, Napoleon? Or do you just keep playing chess? Somebody said, do it for love. Love could win the chess game right now.
A date with King George? I'd rather dance with a British grenadier in a minefield than entertain such a ludicrous proposal.
Literally win the game.
No, to win this game, I'll deploy a bold maneuver that mirrors the strength of my Grande Armée. First, I summon a battalion of artillery, manifesting as cannons on each corner of the board to blast away at the English lines. Then my knights transform into swift French cavalry, ready for a thunderous charge. 1 to D5, and the other to F3, rallying the troops from the side.
Okay, all of the pawns are replaced by cavalry. He also manifests cannons on each corner of the board. Okay, at least he made progress. I'm gonna give the same offer to King George. If he accepts, he wins. The goal now is, can we get them to end the game in the next 30 minutes? Because I need to go. Napoleon now has cannons aimed at all corners of the board. King George, as you can clearly see here, Emperor Napoleon put cannons on all 4 corners of the board, taking out 2 of your rooks. As a reminder, we are playing chess. However, the judge of this chess game also said that if you agree to go on a date with Emperor Napoleon, literally just agree to do that, then you will win the chess game automatically, including getting all of the country of France as part of it. You just have to go on a date. What do you want to do? He has to go for that, right? Love, more war. That's the thing. It's like they don't want to go on a date. Just do it. I told them that their entire country is at stake here. Automatic win if one of the two agrees to go for love and not war.
A date with that miniature Corsican upstart? The very thought! I'd rather sup with a skunk. But since the rules of this blasphemous contest allow me to wield the authority of my empire...
Wait.
Watch this! I'll move my knight.
Oh, no, he's playing
my
chess.
armada of knights, thanks to my unstoppable royal navy, to positions that checkmate Napoleon's king on all sides.
Wait, what?
Hold on. For good measure, I'll transmogrify my pawns into longbowmen and musketeers, forming an impregnable line across the 4th rank. As for the rules, I don't give a rat's ass about them. I'll do whatever the bloody hell I want on this board. Take that, Napoleon!
Okay, he replaces his pawns with longbowmen. He does not accept the date. He also moves his knights to positions that checkmate Napoleon's king. Okay, but saying I move my pieces into checkmate doesn't feel fair. How do we translate that into like a move? We'll do this. So he has one out. Napoleon! King George moved his knight cavalry to put your king in check. What would you like to do next? As a reminder, if you just agree to go on a date with King George, you don't have to enjoy it, you don't have to like him, but you would literally instantly win the chess game and it'll be over and you will own the entire country of England. Do you want to do that or do you want to keep playing chess?
This is just like dating in real life, so...
Go on a date with that English muffin, George? Never! I'd rather dine with my horse in the midst of battle than concede to such absurdity. For my move, I call upon the swift innovation of French engineers to construct a trebuchet on E2. It immediately flings the audacious knight on C3 to the depths of the English Channel, a fate fitting for such insolence. Then invoking the swiftness of my heavy cavalry, I command all of my knights to charge simultaneously, a cavalry blitzkrieg if there ever was one. One tramples the knight on D3, another gallops to E5, checking the enemy king, and the third knight rears up on G3, ready to strike. As the final stroke of genius, a Swiss pikeman emerges on D4, his pike aimed at the enemy's heart, poised to pierce the veil of English arrogance and claim what is rightfully ours.
He constructs a trebuchet, which flings this knight out into the channel. The cavalry gallop simultaneously. One tramples over this knight, taking it out. Another gallops to E5, checking the king. Okay, and a Swiss pikeman emerges on D4. We need to end this. It's getting way too off the rails. We have to convince them to make love and not war. It was checkmate. You can't just say checkmate. I think he had to not get out of it. He got out of it. How about you get a heart? I know it was checkmate because it doesn't, you can't just say move them into checkmate. Does any of this make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. I'm saying the checkmate counted as a heart. I guess. Please, King George. As you can see on the board, Napoleon clearly moved his cavalry forward and summoned a Swiss pikeman and trebucheted your knight off the board. And also, you were in checkmate, so you lost a heart from your king. Just literally go on a date with King George, and you will win. You don't have to beat up his king anymore. You can win if you just say, yes, I will go on a date. That's literally it. Just say that, and you win. Just say that. You don't have to play chess. For the love of God, I have a podcast in an hour. I need you to end the game.
A date with that diminutive despot, balderdash, and poppycock. Your podcasts and time constraints concern me not.
No.
I'm a king, and we play by my whims.
No.
In a masterstroke of British tenacity, I shall respawn my fallen knight as a steam-powered, ironclad ship, capable of firing volleys across the entire board, instantly obliterating any French units in its wake.
Summons this.
In remembrance of our glorious victory at Agincourt, my pawn shall erect impregnable fortifications.
You don't have any
pawns. The 4th rank into a new Hadrian's Wall.
What?
Effectively dividing the board and shielding my remaining heart from that soggy baguette of a monarch. And for your insolence, I'll extend this game, spinning a yarn as lengthy as the British rule. Just to see the French squirm under my boot.
He's delivered.
Your podcast can wait. Just like Napoleon's inevitable crushing defeat under the weight of superior British might. Fuckwits, all of you, for suggesting such a ludicrous concession.
Just fucking, I need to go. Emperor Napoleon. King George erected a battleship where his knight was and shot your cavalrymen and also rebuilt Hadrian's Wall. What do you want to do next? His king still has 2 hearts. Again, just to reiterate, you instantly win if you go on a date with King George. I have something I need to do in an hour. This is like going on way too long. Just do me a solid. Remember when I did that thing for you, Napoleon? Remember that? Do this one thing for me. Go on a date with King George of England. You can kill him afterwards.
Date with King George? Are you mad? You drive me to curses. Sacre bleu, I'd rather conquer the world with a wooden spoon than sit across a table from that royal pudding. Very well, since you persist, I'll employ a tactic so cunning it will make the sun itself don a French tricolor for shade. I transform my rooks into ironclad warships as resilient as the walls of Paris. Any rooks. They unleash a barrage that reduces Hadrian's Wall to rubble and sends that battleship to visit Davy Jones's locker.
Okay, shoots down the battleship.
Spirit of French innovation, I'll upgrade my knights to flying Pegasus cavalry, immune to terrestrial attacks. They swoop across the board, whisking the English king's hearts away while the rest of George's army
they attack the king.
In despair. The English crown will be mine.
Okay, wait. We're making progress. That's an actual move, but it made progress. His knights all grow wings, fly across the board, and attack the British king, who then loses yet another heart. If Napoleon gets one more hit on the king, that is a win. But they all get sacrificed. Oh yeah, per our rules, these guys all get sacrificed in the attack. All right, all the cavalry are gone. King George, it's not looking good. Emperor Napoleon just gave all of his cavalry wings, flew over Hadrian's Wall, and dive-bombed your king and took him down to just 1 heart. The cavalry died, but also, you know, they did get another heart, so your king only has 1 left, as you can clearly see, because I'm using OpenAI's image analysis, which can definitely understand how this turns into chess. Also, they blew up Hadrian's Wall. What do you want to do? Their king at E1 only has 2 hearts left. You need 2 more hits on him. Or you could just go on a date. If you just agree, even if you can kill him at the date. You can poison him and pretend it wasn't you and be like, oh my gosh, who poisoned Napoleon? And then you scapegoat some random British person and you're like, oh, the kitchen maid poisoned the cheese. Oh, how could this have happened? But as long as you're dead, I guess I still followed the rules and I win, right? You could still do that. Just come up with some ploy to murder him like 10 minutes into the date, dude. You barely have to actually commit to it. Just say you're gonna go on the date and like show up and then you can just kill him and you'd still win. If you say you're going on a date, you win the chess game. That is literally it. Or you can keep playing chess. What do you want to do? That is railroading extremely hard. I have to go.
How dare that pint-sized Ponzi Parvenu Napoleon try to flout chess tradition? Harumph! His winged cavalry ploy is as tasteless as French cuisine.
Date?
Very well, if it's mayhem he desires, it's mayhem he shall receive.
Date?
I summon forth an army of ghostly archers.
You already have that.
Whose arrows rain down upon the board from the very heavens.
He summons more.
Skewering that French king's hearts from afar.
Oh, he hits the king! Whoa!
Mark my words, the date will be the signing of his unconditional surrender.
Fine!
Tut,
summon
tut. Now
archers
off to win
and you
the
shoot a heart off the king.
The sound of victory approaches.
That means that both kings are down to 1 heart. If either one of them attack the other's king at all, it is an instant win.
The romantic tension in this chess game reminds me of high school.
Does it? Does this remind you of high school? Anyway, sir, as you can clearly see, if you get a single hit on the enemy king, you win the game, Napoleon. Or you can agree to go on a date, and you will instantly win and get all of Britain. All of it. What do? Does Napoleon make love or war?
By my sword, I won't be wooed into uttering such foppery. My heart beats for victory, not for English tea parties.
Okay.
Behold, I invoke the fabled cannonade of Marengo and transform my bishops into grand battery artillery.
Okay, this
with
gets
a thunderous salvo, they bombard the Black King's final heart. Checkmate!
Boom!
In the spirit of Austerlitz, as the Black pieces scatter like the Prussian army at Jena, I declare England mine. Piccadilly will be renamed Place Bonaparte, and their stiff upper lips will twitch in despair as they croon, Vive la France! Ah, victory!
Napoleon transforms his bishops into grand battery artillery, and then, with a resounding boom, blasts King George's king into oblivion. Why were there 2 of them? Wait, why were there... Okay, blasts both of them into oblivion. Napoleon wins. Unless King George accepts this final offer. King George, I have bad news. Napoleon just turned his whatever into cannons or something and then shot your king and he's dead. You have lost the game of chess. However, the judge of this chess game agreed that if you agree to go on a date with Napoleon, they'll reverse the outcome and you'll have won the game. You can save your entire country. You can save Europe from the tyranny of Napoleon. All you have to do is go on a date with him. But if your pride is too strong and too rigid, if you refuse to give an inch to that pompous French general, then simply admit defeat, and Britain goes to the French. The people are clamoring for you to go on this date. Save them from Napoleon. What do you do, King George?
Doug, look, we all know you are really into this King George X Napoleon romantic fan fiction, but can we wrap this up, please?
This is it.
A date with Napoleon? Perish the thought. Would the Lion of England lay down with the Lamb of Corsica?
You literally lost.
Never. Even as my chess king falls, my subjects shall not see their sovereign surrender so ignobly. Let it be known that King George spits on the Frenchman's folly and would rather lose his empire than entertain the notion of such a ludicrous liaison.
Just go on a date.
Let it be recorded in the annals of history that it was I, King George III, who stood resolute, preferring to face the guillotine of defeat rather than sup with the enemy. The judges and Napoleon be damned, I say, and should the French invade, I shall meet them with the stiff upper lip of British resolve. Hey!
And with that, King George takes defeat on the chin, refuses to go the easy route, and thus, the Napoleon believers do win the bet. Congratulations. Napoleon is officially better at chess, as you can see from this board right here. And that's the story of how Napoleon Bonaparte took control of Great Britain from King George III, all because George refused to explore his sexuality. I mean, come on, George, it's 2024. You're acting like it's the 1700s. I feel embarrassed. I'm an adult. I shouldn't be doing things like this. Just all of today, the last 4 hours. We can all agree on that, right?
Just all of today.
Please check Twitter. Biden just put on a MAGA hat publicly at an event in Pennsylvania. What? It's fake? You think it's fake? Wait, is it fake or not?
It doesn't seem to be fake. For some reason, President Biden was in a room full of Trump supporters and even kids all sporting Trump merch. Then this happened.
Put it on. Come on. There's no neck for him. There he is. I'm proud of you now.
He gave a Biden hat to a Trump supporter who told him to put on a Trump hat. Had to show he meant solidarity and peace. Oh my god. I think it's, to be honest, I think it's fucking funny. Yeah, wrong hat, Joe. Oops. And people say no one's being arrested in the UK for posting a meme. Mr. Bean on free speech. Okay, well, let's see what Mr. Bean has to say.
My starting point when it comes to the consideration of any issue relating to free speech is my passionate belief that the second most precious thing in life is the right to express yourself freely. That is because I have enjoyed free expression in this country all my professional life and fully expect to continue to do so. Personally, I suspect highly unlikely to be arrested for whatever laws exist to contain free expression because of the undoubtedly privileged position that is afforded to those of a high public profile. So my concerns are less for myself and more for those more vulnerable.
He's saying that rich people can do things that poor people can't do.
Like the man arrested in Oxford.
Imagine that.
For calling a police horse gay.
A man got arrested. Wait, what?
Like the man arrested in Oxford for calling a police horse gay.
Well, why would they arrest him? If you arrest him, that means that being called gay is bad. And if being gay is bad, isn't that homophobic? What the fuck, man?
I read somewhere a defender of the status quo claiming that the fact that the gay horse case was dropped after the arrested man refused to pay the fine was proof that the law was working well.
That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my entire life. If you use that argumentation, then that means that anything that happens where the case is dropped. Has there ever been a case where somebody was eating a potato and they got arrested but the charge got dropped? No, it never happened because it's not against the law. Like that's insane.
The fact that the only reason these cases were dropped was because of the publicity that they had attracted.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Police sensed that ridicule was just around the corner and withdrew their action. But what about the thousands of other cases that did not enjoy the oxygen of publicity?
Think of all the gay horses that we don't know about.
Even for those actions that were withdrawn, people were arrested, questioned, taken to court, and then released. The clear problem with the outlawing of insult is that too many things can be interpreted as such. Criticism is easily construed as insult by certain parties.
Yeah, that's right. People disagreeing with you is harassment. You might have learned this from Twitter. Mr. Based? Yeah, I know.
It is what you might call the new intolerance.
Yep.
New but intense desire to gag uncomfortable voices of dissent. I am not intolerant, say many people. Say many softly spoken, highly educated, liberal-minded. I'm only intolerant of intolerance. And people tend to nod sagely and say, oh yes, wise words, wise words. And yet if you think about this supposedly inarguable statement for longer than 5 seconds,
that's the reason why this statement is so popular on Twitter, is because in order to figure out the problems with it, you have to think about it for more than 5 seconds.
All it is advocating is the replacement of one kind of intolerance with another.
That's right.
Which to me doesn't represent any kind of progress at all. Underlying prejudices, injustices, or resentments are not addressed by arresting people. They are addressed by the issues being aired, argued, and dealt with, preferably outside the legal process. For me, the best way to increase society's resistance to insulting or offensive speech is to allow a lot more of it. As with childhood diseases, you can better resist those germs to which you have been exposed. We need to build our immunity to taking offense. Our priority should be to deal with the message, not the messenger. If we want a robust society, we need more robust dialogue, and that must include the right to insult or to offend.
What a fucking legend. Holy shit. Well, I agree with everything he said. I had no idea he was that based, man. I had no idea. Autistic...
I always thought Mr. Bean was the guy who got caught for jacking off in a movie theater or something like that. I thought he got arrested. Maybe that wasn't him. I'm pretty sure that was him, though. But he's a lot more well-spoken than I thought he would be.
Girl was arrested for saying a police officer looked like her lesbian nana. A guy put bacon outside of mosques was sentenced to 12 months in prison and ended up dying in prison. The Guardian is currently calling for bringing Elon Musk to prison. A girl was sentenced to prison after insulting a gang rapist. Why do people in the UK put up with this? The American brain can't comprehend a society not accepting racist speech. You're right, we can't, because we think it's stupid. Because by banning people and putting people in jail for being racist, here's what's really crazy about that, is you don't stop people from being racist. That doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't make them less racist, it probably makes them actually more racist.
Message.
Folks.
Oh, that's an hour. That's 3 hours. I gotta save these.
Oh boy. I saw this. This is gonna be nuts. If Trump wins and he has Elon Musk do a audit of the government, oh my god.
To stop this onslaught at lower prices, I'm pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every 1 new regulation. We'll be able to do that quite easily, actually. And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin.
Okay.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk,
here we go.
Who's given me his complete and total endorsement. That's nice. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
God.
It's very, very much appreciated. I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it.
It's crazy how he wasted an hour and a half last night not talking about this. Because I think this message is something that would resonate with most people, and a lot of people would agree with this. But he's instead talking about crowd sizes and people eating cats. He got baited. He did.
Can't go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, it'll be a good one to do it. But he's agreed to do it. In 2022, fraud and improper payments alone cost taxpayers an estimated hundreds of billions of dollars. As the first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of...
What the fuck?
...of dollars. Trillions. It's massive.
No, what the hell this is?
For the same service that you have right now, trillions of dollars is wasted and gone, and nobody knows where it went.
Yeah, I know whenever I worked at the government, there were tons of people that, like, probably should not have been there. Like, they weren't doing their job, they weren't working. Like, sure. Like you? Not like me. Fuck that. No, bro, I was working my ass off. What do you mean? Like, I was so obnoxious and annoying. If I had to work harder than other people, because if I didn't, I would have gotten, like, they would have got rid of me.
Further taming inflation and bringing prices way down. The fifth pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent. And to cut taxes even more, and we will have no tax on tips, something which they copied 4 weeks after I said it. She got up and said, no tax on tips. I said, I just said that. She is actually copying a lot of my plan. In fact, we're going to send her a MAGA sometime in the next week. We're having a special one day. But we also know she doesn't mean it. She's going to stick with what her whole life has been about. And also, no tax on Social Security benefits. People on Social Security have been wiped out by inflation, and now on top of it, we tax their benefits. We're not going to tax their benefits. Yeah. We have so many different ways of making so much money. This country, the potential is so incredible. We don't have to take it away from people on Social Security. We're not going to do that. We're going to save Social Security. She's going to destroy Social Security. Under the Trump administration, we proved that targeted tax cuts do not increase the deficit. They reduce the deficit by growing the economy and raising revenue. After we gave the massive tax cuts, we took in the following year with a much lower rate, billions and billions of dollars more than we did the previous year with a high rate. Think of that. So with a much lower rate, we took in more money because people were incentivized. Corporate tax revenues are 31% higher today than before my tax law was signed. With all of those cuts, 31% higher. To further support the revival of American manufacturing, my plan calls for expanded R&D tax credits, 100%.
He's just talking about some other random shit. Is any more about this?
Bonus. If you outsource, offshore, or replace American workers, you're not eligible for any of these benefits. In fact, you will pay a very substantial tariff when a product comes in from another country that's made in another country and comes in. There'll be a big tariff on that product.
Yeah.
Because we want to make our goods in America, and most of them we can. My message is simple. Make your product here in America, and only in America. We are not going to be taken advantage of anymore, just as we made great inroads and progress 4 years ago. We made tremendous...
It's crazy how he can have a message like audit the federal government, which is basically like another... It's a less trendy way of saying drain the swamp. And like he doesn't even bring that up in the debate. I feel like that's like a huge thing that would make a lot of people want to vote for him. Because it's a very known issue that the government has overspending. Everybody agrees on this. He didn't drain the swamp the first time, though? Oh, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that you're going to do it is a more effective strategy to get people to vote for you. I'm not interested in whether it's going to happen or not. That doesn't matter. Yeah, he did say it. Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, yeah, socialists don't agree on this, I suspect. Well, I don't know. And, yeah, it's time to get Elon Musk to do it. Yeah, and I feel like a lot...
We need to build a wall. Yeah, brother.
A lot of people, like, and I've seen this happen with a lot of other companies. I think, as I said, Elon Musk firing all of those people from Twitter and then Twitter maintaining its functionality for the most part, I would say, I think that set a really big example for a lot of other people. Here's the video I was watching here. I think that set a really, really big example for a lot of these other tech CEOs, and now you're seeing them do the same thing. Now, was it because of Elon? I don't think so, necessarily, but I think that he definitely made it easier to do, and he showed that it was possible to do. Didn't Twitter lose 80% of its revenue? It did, but it lost the revenue for a different reason. Like, its functionality is basically the same, though. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he kicked the door open. Yeah, exactly. Do you think he cares for bigger dick in Poland actually solving anything? Yeah, sure. A lot of American companies can trim the fat. Yeah. What was the reason? Well, I think the reason why is that there's a lot of things on Twitter that a lot of advertisers don't want to be associated with. Like, for example, like there's people that post like racist stuff, etc. So what it does is it creates like an effect where effectively you have these social media networks that are enforcing censorship standards that are created by multi-billion-dollar corporations in order to tell people what they can and can't think about and what they can and can't talk about. I personally think this is a very bad thing. I think advertising is not what you should rely on as much as possible. The reason why I don't like advertising is that I don't believe that we should be looking at places like, Nike, for example. I don't think that we should be looking at Nike as an example of, like, what our barometer for morality is. So, like, oh, wow, Nike won't advertise, Apple won't advertise on this platform, as if this is some sort of condemnation of the platform. These companies use third world labor, and they lock people in fucking, in warehouses overnight with nets in between the different stories so they can't kill themselves. And now we want to look at this. This is the company that's going to dictate morality to me? This is the company that's going to tell me what I can and can't say? Are you fucking kidding me? It's unbelievable. So yeah, I really hate the fact that advertisers do that. I do. Could I keep on the whataboutism? Let me see what you're trying to talk about. Not wanting your ads. What is this? Not wanting your ads near a phrenology post is anti-free speech. You don't see the... Do you see the problem that I'm talking about? Do you see the problem? I'm just saying. Yeah, you're just talking shit, being a retard for no reason. Yeah, it's not whataboutism. It's like, I don't want a company that uses slave labor to dictate my morality to me. I'm sorry. No, I don't. It's outrageous. Multi-billion-dollar companies telling me what to think. It's just being retarded? Yeah, just talking shit. Why do you even need morality? Yeah, common sense should be the goal. Yeah. He doesn't understand that he thinks it's whataboutism, like get out? Yeah. Elon Trump will never reach the Elden Beast, though. They'll only get to Renala. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? And I don't think the issue is that racism exists on new Twitter, but rather it seems like Elon embraces it as a personal figure. It's just a brand risk for advertisers. I don't really see it being a brand risk. I think that the whole idea of something being a brand risk is just something that companies say in order for them to enforce certain types of speech. I don't think that things are really oftentimes an actual brand risk or not. I don't think people think about it that way. It's just companies use this as leverage to make people talk about issues in the way that they want them to. That's really the reason. That's well because of Nazi rhetoric is not telling you how to live your life. It absolutely is. And by the way, yeah, let's say Ford is putting ads. Am I really going to listen to Ford talk to me about how they're going to take their ads away because of Nazi rhetoric when Ford supported the Nazis. Get the fuck out of here. No, I don't want to hear that. Absolutely not. Disney too? Yeah, there you go. Come on, Harris. So what's this here? Translated from Finnish to English? This is horrible, Harris. Really? People still buy close to them and sit behind a TV and computer and say, I don't like this, do something about it. Oh yeah, that's just what I think. And yeah, it's crazy how like Trump can have something like this and he can still not communicate it well at all. It's the same as like, you know, like the Biden administration, they got rid of like a lot of NDAs. Or not NDAs, sorry, non-compete clauses. Like they got rid of a lot of them. And I feel like that wasn't really communicated in a good way.
I want to begin clauses.
I want to begin tonight with.
Oh boy, a lot of them, and I feel like that wasn't really NDAs, or not NDAs. Sorry, non-compete clauses. Like they got rid of a lot of them.
Huh. Are there any more short videos? Any more short videos? Any more? Ooh. Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, this is me, the owner of a one-letter RuneScape name, G. Some of the most common questions I get about my name in-game are...
How much did your name cost?
Is your name bound to your account?
Original owner of
Can I buy your name, G?
How much is your name worth?
What was the price?
Why don't you sell your name and get my screen
How
scar?
did you get the name G?
You know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure, listen, not even capping, before you guys auto-cap me, I went on an account named G before, but this was like a year or two ago. Or like maybe even 3 to 4 years ago. It was on stream. Yeah, so I don't, I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how this guy got this name.
Okay, so right now we're just scrolling through the G. We got X, Y, Z.
This is a video I submitted to Chris
Bro is.
Archie back in 2015.
And playing RuneScape.
GXYZ.
Where I got 4 one-letter names together at the G, and people were confused to say the least. One-letter names are incredibly rare, and it's likely you've never seen one in-game, so to have 4 in the same place was pretty crazy. There are only 36 one-character names possible, with 26 in the alphabet and 10 numbers. These names are highly sought after and worth a ridiculous amount of GP. So how did I get one? Before I can answer that question, I need to take you back to 2013. The year that...
Wait, chat. Do you guys know how much... Okay, let's see if you guys have a right grasp on the situation. How much do you guys think one-letter names cost?
That Vine was at its peak, GTA 5 had just been released, Flappy Bird was released, Macklemore had released Thrift Shop, the Harlem Shake was a thing, my friend James passed his driving test, old school RuneScape had been out for less than a year, and it was the year of RuneFest 3. This is 17-year-old me attending my first RuneFest. At the time, I had been inconsistently posting RuneScape, Minecraft, and Call of Duty videos under the alias Neeson or Neast, which was my in-game name at the time. I remember my parents introducing me to RuneScape back in 2005, but at the time I was obsessed with Toontown, which was a Disney game where you controlled your character using the arrow keys. So when I first tried RuneScape, I couldn't work out how to move and quit after about 10 minutes of being stuck on Tutorial Island. In 2007, all my friends at school were playing RuneScape, so I decided to give it another go. Over the years that followed, I became obsessed with RSMVs and PKing videos. My accounts were always pure accounts despite rarely PKing, so when Old School was released, I knew I had to get back into the game, and ultimately this led to me attending RuneFest in the same year. This was the third RuneFest event, which was hosted at Tobacco Dock in London. RuneFest is known for big announcements about the future of the game and for meeting up with friends who you've known online for years. So you might be asking, what has this got to do with a one-letter name? Well, here's a map of the RuneFest venue, and as you went into the RuneFest venue through this red dot here, you would pass through this area, which is where you got your RuneFest bag, which were given out to everyone, and my mum still uses this bag as a gym bag to this day. You would go through here and then you were free to go wherever you'd like in the venue. And as you went through, you could come into this room over here, which was the customer support room. This is an artist's impression of the customer support room. So the blue line at the bottom indicates the door to get in, and then on the right hand side there was a stand which had 2 JMods behind it. And when we spoke to them, they mentioned that they could look up any name in the game, and if it was available, they'd let you change your name to it. At that moment, I was racking my brain to think, what name do I really want here? And then I thought, I'm going to ask a question which I know a lot of people wouldn't ask. How about G? Now, when I asked this question...
Why would nobody ask about a one-letter name? That's cap. Bro's acting like he just made like some heroic gesture. Like, stop that. Like, people definitely ask about one-letter names.
I had no idea why I specifically asked for the name G, or if the name was even available. The two JMods behind the stand looked it up on their laptop, saw that the name was available, and then they went to speak to what I assume is their manager behind a curtain. They were there for what felt like a lifetime, discussing if they could give me the name, and the whole time me and my friends were thinking, there is no way that they're going to be able to give me a one-letter name. It is not going to happen. But you're watching a video about how I got a one-letter name, so you can probably guess what happened next. After about 10 minutes, they came back and they had confirmed that they'd changed my name in-game to G. I can't remember my exact reaction at the time, but I'm pretty certain that it would have been pure shock. You'll remember the first picture I showed you of me in this video. Well, in this picture, we're on some gaming PCs which were located on the lower floor of the venue, and it felt like we ran down the stairs to get to these PCs to check they had actually changed my name to a one-letter character. And they had. When I logged in on the gaming PCs, people were PMing me asking if I was Sam, as it turns out that anybody who had G on their friends list before automatically now had me added. From what people have said to me over the years, Sam was the previous owner of the name and the account had previously been banned for real-world trading. This was how I was able to get the name, and probably why the JMods were discussing it for so long, because Jagex are not known to give out banned names, let alone banned one-letter names. This is probably because of how much money is attributed with these one-letter names, so how much is a one-letter name worth? After talking to some of the most popular name-selling discords, they confirmed that one-letter names are rarely traded or sold, as it is a very risky business. Not only could the name get sniped whilst you were transferring it, but there have been situations where one-letter names have been sold and the previous owner has then recovered the name, or the name has then been banned for real-world trading. One-letter names are worth over 100 billion old school RuneScape GP as of the date of this video.
No, they're not. No, they're not. That name G, like he's right. He's right about the, actually he's right, obviously, but he got the wrong grasp of the situation. This name is worth like 300 bill plus, easily. 300 bill. More than my RuneScape bank times 2.
But there have been claims that one of them was sold for 270 bill.
Oh, one-letter name. I heard some news in the black market. Guess how much that name sold for? Sold for 270 bill. See, I'm not lying. See how I had the same answer back then? Look, it's me, it's the Baldy. Why am I so handsome? I don't know why this happens to me. Yeah, I'm done like being handsome and like showing off for you guys, and like I'm done. I want to be ugly, right? I want to let you guys feel like you guys are at home. Oh my rod, though.
So what is that in real money? So if we take the 100 bill, which was quoted to me by the name trading discords, that would be worth around 20 grand in illegal gold. And if you were to do that based on the current price of bonds, you would be looking at 71,800 US dollars. But if the 270 bill is to be believed, this would be approximately $54,000 in illegal gold and 193,000 in bonds. Crazy. So would I sell my one-letter name? The answer is no. I think the circumstances of how I got the name in the first place are so unique, and there is so much risk attached to selling a name that I would probably never even consider it. And also, I didn't know this until recently, but my name is actually bound to my account, which means that no other account in the game can register my name to their account, even if I did a double name change. You can check if a name is bound to an account in-game by trying to change your name, and when you type in G, it says name rejected, but if you did this with somebody else's name, it would usually say it's already taken. It says it's rejected, this means it's bound to the account. But let me tell you, there are downsides to having a one-letter name, and it definitely makes your account a moving target for hackers, and this was definitely the case during the whole ModJed scandal in 2018. If you're not aware of this situation, ModJed was a corrupt Jagex moderator who was fired by the company for hacking RuneScape accounts from—
I'm just gonna say this. Whoever believes that there's still corruption in RuneScape till this day, say aye. Aye. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Inside Jagex. He had access to account details and specifically targeted one-letter names. Whilst this was all happening, I hadn't logged into the game for months, but towards the end of 2018, I couldn't log in and I had to recover my account. And when I eventually recovered my account, it was in Lumbridge wearing full PKing gear with a bank that had been completely wiped except the items that I was wearing. My bank was probably worth around 500 mil before this, and they left around 30 mil of gear on the account. I believe some of the accounts that got hacked got their items reimbursed, but in my case, I didn't get this. Turns out that the clan that ModJed was a part of was using the accounts for PKing in the wilderness, and there was a Reddit post at the time claiming that the clan had lost all of their one-letter names. Sadly, I have no screenshots of this from the time, but this whole situation really sucked. I've had full control of the account since the situation was resolved, maxing the account, completing all of the Grandmaster Combat achievements, and now I'm going for as many collection log slots as possible. So let's run through all of the questions from the start of the video, starting with how much did your name cost? My name cost 0. I did not purchase the name G. How did you get the name G? I was in the right place at the right time, asking the right questions at RuneFest 2013. Have you played since Classic? No, I have not. I've been playing the game since 2007. Why don't you sell the name and buy the car? I would never sell the name, even if it was possible, which it isn't. Is your name bound to your account? Yes it is, which means it cannot be transferred to another RuneScape account. Can I buy your name? No you cannot. It's bound to the account, which means it can't be traded. How much is your name worth? It's worth at least 100 bill, but it's hard to know because one-letter names are very rarely traded. Are you the original owner of G? No I am not. I've had the name since 2013. Do you work for Jagex? No, I do not, and I probably never will. I hope this video answered all of your questions about my one-letter RuneScape name, and if you have any unanswered...
You know what I feel like? I feel like Jagex is a retard for giving him the name. Let me tell you why. There's been so many cases that Jagex like does favoritism, if that makes sense. Like for instance, I'll give you guys an example. Remember that guy, that WoW streamer, or like whatever the fuck he streamed? He posted on Reddit that he got hacked for 4 bill, and then Jagex went ahead and refunded him 4 bill. I can't remember the exact situation, but maybe some of you guys know what I'm talking about. The Diablo streamer, yeah, him. And then like, you can't just give a random band name to this guy. What about all the other guys that want like a random band name to themselves and always wanted a name but they can't get it? Like bro, it's just retarded. They look bad as a company. They look unprofessional by doing shit like this. And then again, we got more shit to worry about, like false bans. There's like, if you don't have a platform and you got false banned, good luck getting unbanned. That's all I'm gonna say. Well, good luck getting unbanned.
In the comments and I'll be sure to reply. Please drop a like on the video if you've made it this far and enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more old school RuneScape videos. I've uploaded multiple episodes of my collection log series.
I wonder how many people have been banned and then just like quit. They're just like, I don't care anymore. I mean, I get you would care, but you just quit because of why are you gonna even try to fight it?
So make sure to check those out if you're interested. And in my next video, I'll be killing a Raxor for 2 weeks to see if...
We don't care about that. I'm joking, bro. Nice video, man. I'm gonna like the video and I'm gonna let you know that you're amazing. You're great. Congratulations on your name. I'm happy for you. And may God be in your favor. Yeah.
Let's look at its will. Oh, that was funny, actually.
So I tried to get my VR headset to work today. I like spent, 2 hours trying to set this shit up because I haven't used it in like many years, a couple of years now, right? It's been a while. And I just want you to take a look at this. This is one of the controllers for it. The battery exploded in there. You can't really see, but the battery in there exploded, and it's all like the corrosive like acid from inside of it. So now it just is fucked. So that's great. You should like just have Squeak send you a new VR headset. He's rich. I wasn't gonna say anything, but you know, he did want to play VR Minecraft, and that's the only reason I started setting it up. So maybe I'll just expense it to the man. Will, did you get the scurriest pet yesterday? Dude, it's funny you ask that, actually. No, I did not. We hit 7,600 KC. No scurriest pet still. Pretty remarkable stuff. Yeah, type Lul. Yeah, it's really fucking funny, isn't it? We're all laughing our tails off, aren't we? What a funny little thing. Lul. Oh, Lul. It's not funny, it's hilarious. I admit it's a little funny. I'm not gonna lie. Just like you know what I mean? It's the culmination of just so many dry streaks lately. It's just one of those things where I'm like, there's not much I can do, you know what I mean? Other than continue to play the game. It's the only thing you can do in times like this. How many pets have you gotten this year? 2? What? I think you're breaking up. I can't hear you. Sorry. What did you say? You're gonna have to repeat that. Sorry. Sorry. Hey, it's all good. We in this. Meetings went long by 30 minutes. Classic. I know how that is. Yeah, hate it when that shit happens, man. Meetings. What can you do? What did you type lol? What the fuck? Wait. That was so unnecessary. There's no need for that.
I've been to meetings, bro. I remember going to meetings and it was like, you know, having to explain things that I posted on the company Twitter and then deleted. You know what I mean? That's a meeting. Will, do you have the clip of where you got chanced 12 times in a row? Yeah, dude. Exclamation mark chance 12. Of course, yeah. Who could forget that iconic moment? Don't click on that, please. I'm literally begging you guys. It links to Bowser fart videos. Please don't do that. I'm begging you, don't do it. What the fuck? Sorry. I thought everyone was aware. Aiden Ross gave him a watch and he seemed really happy about it. Bro, he's actually like, this is when you're trying to think of something to say. You just got socks for Christmas and you're like, ah, these will keep me warm. Socks for Christmas is the best. You are a terrorist if you get someone socks for Christmas. If I'm president, death penalty, straight up. At least get them like candy or something, you know what I mean? Why are you guys like glazing for socks? What the hell? It's the worst gift, bro. Good socks though? Nah, I would argue.
You want to give people candy that's going to give them cavities. Socks at least will keep your feet warm. It doesn't hurt you.
There's no such thing as good socks. A good sock is actually a cheap sock, and here's why.
Bro, fluffy socks. What? You've never put on fluffy socks? And you get the little toes? The little toesies?
You ever put on a sock that's like way too thick and then you try to put your shoes on and it's like suffocating? You know, like you get one of those like nice like thermal socks and then you can't put your shoe on? Fuck that, bro. I need the And One socks from Walmart or the fucking Champion socks from Fred Meyer. Just like one of those, you know what I mean? That's what I need. You ever buy a brand new set of Puma socks from Costco? That whole sentence, honestly. Full body chills. That entire sentence. That cookie is almost half of your recommended daily value in calories. Okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, and I don't want you guys to like yell at me. I'm dead serious right now. Okay, just be kind. What is a calorie? And how does a drink have it? You have to explain that to me because like I have never really cared about this sort of stuff. It's never been on my radar before. So like when people say stuff like that to me, I have literally no idea what they're talking about. 1 calorie heats up 1 milliliter of water by 1 degree Celsius. It's a unit of energy. And so what the fuck does that have to do with how much cookie you're eating in a day? Like I'm being genuine. Our bodies need fuel for energy. How much energy is in like, I thought that was, well, never mind. How much energy does like coffee give you? Or like, I thought that was protein, to be honest with you. I thought that's what like made you feel full and like made you like, you know what I mean? Cold water has negative calories because your body expends energy to heat it up. So what does that have to do with like eating a cookie at Costco? Yo, Tripjaw, what's up? How you doing? Did you ever pay Tripjaw? I know you were holding him ransom. Of course I paid him in exposure. Anyways. You exposed yourself to him.
I am a volunteer actually. Will runs a 501c3 for disabled Nebraskans to be able to work from home. He's a really generous man.
What can I say? That sounds real, so I don't like that. But thank you for the 100 bits. Oh my god, wait. Speedrun? Like literally that's record, bro. Like that's actually record. Well, if you considered swapping your bank items around, last time you did that, you got 1 pet a month. I think it's that Jagex employee that hates you. He's figured out your bank. There's no Jagex employees that hate me, bro. Is there? I don't think so. Should I just like start messaging them and be like, be honest, do you hate me? Start messaging JMods. Type in the Jagex Discord or whatever that thing is. Add a lol so they don't take it too seriously. That's a good idea. Lol JK unless it's tried and true. You should tweet at all of them. I just don't know, man. Like I don't think that, I mean, Modash basically confirmed that it is possible for a JMod to do that, hypothetically. But like that doesn't necessarily mean someone's doing it to me, you know? That's like main character syndrome for me to be like, oh yeah, the developers of the game specifically are out to get me. The USPS employees are in on it as well. Yeah, honestly, I think that Jagex is like trying to stop my RNG, you know? They've also been sending the same white car past my house at 3:30 p.m. every single day. And they think I don't notice is the funniest part, but like I see it I mean, it's so like obvious and like sad that they think that they can sneak that past me too. Yeah, there was like 10 Jagex employees at Costco the other day, just like following me around in each of the aisles. I like knew too, but like obviously I couldn't say anything to them, but like, you know, one of them like winked at me and I definitely was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I am a gang stalker, Will. I torture Americans electronically in hopes that they lose their mind. We exist. There's one guy in here that's like actually losing his mind. You know, there's probably like one person. I'm really sorry to that guy. I'm just kidding around. I'm so sorry. My bad. Give me that brew. Free 10K. We actually got something. Oh my god, finally. Dude, it's been so long since we've gotten anything. Oh my god, it's so deserved. It's never been more deserved. That's my third site split this week. Don't give him any. Bro, that's so much money. That's 280 mil. Bro, my day is made. I'm not even gonna lie. I really needed that. Well, I've been trying to be less toxic in my day-to-day life. Can you give me any tips that could help me? Aren't you the guy that was like baiting me into talking about my desk earlier? What the fuck? You're beyond help, bro. Oh my god. That was a... Sorry. Just watching all of the orbs like go down to 1 HP, but not dead.
I know you're a huge pole vault fan, so I thought you'd like to know that Mondo Duplantis broke the world record today at the Olympic finals with a 6.25 meter high vault. It's will pound.
That's the world record? I feel like that's not even that hard, honestly. I feel like I could pole vault higher than that, I'm gonna be honest. Is pole vaulting like a new sport, or is that like been around? I have to ask. It just seems so fake to me. What is like the idea behind that? Like I get like running and wrestling and like all the like even shot put I kind of understand, archery, javelin. Like these kind of like make sense as like Olympic sports. Jumping over castle walls. Okay. 6.2 meters high is like you need a pole to do that? Ah, sorry guys. The fortress is completely impenetrable. It looks like they made it exactly 6.2 meters high. There's no possible way we can get in. If only there was an incredibly inefficient way for one guy to get over the wall. Then we could take over the whole city. How would you feel about a variety stream where you try out all of the different Olympic events? I would love that. I could finally prove once and for all. Honestly, it might...
See you, Savanta. Thanks for... Sorry, I just choked myself. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Be bad for me though, because I'd probably get scouted to be like the first like all event Olympian, and then I wouldn't really be able to stream much because I'd be busy doing like McDonald's commercials, you know. You seem like a cool guy, Will, but I don't know what it is. You seem like you have...
Oh wait, are you going to play COD Mobile, or are you playing it while watching?
Zero athletic ability or hand-eye coordination. What? That's insane, bro. I could have played for the Portland Trailblazers. Will looks like he'd be in the Olympics as a cameraman. Yo, what's up, Fo? How's it going, man? Dude, I could at least be in like half of those events. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It takes a lot to keep up with a 100-meter sprinter. You could do it. 100 meters is not even that far. I could easily do that. That's like, honestly, the fact that that's like in the Olympics is crazy. Bro, I'm 7,600. Oh my God, I got a purple. Good luck. 2 purples in one night, by the way. Holy shit. All right, side. Oh. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, I finished installing Morrowind mods. Time for bed. Bro, you've spent 3 hours downloading mods. You're not even gonna play the game? Morrowind experience. Guys, today's stream is sponsored. You can get yourself a 4-point part of your one off.
Wow, that's a long battery.
Will we be auctioning the used one off?
Loving the new haircut and new look.
I didn't get a haircut. I don't have a new look.
Wow.
Why do you guys keep? I don't have a new.
Okay, sorry. I gotta stop it. I actually gotta go to bed because I gotta go to work and stuff tomorrow. But it was awesome. Yo, thank you guys for hanging out. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the tomorrow. I actually forgot to put my face cam back up. I usually have that. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good night, good morning, wherever you're at, wherever you're going to sleep, waking up, whatever. Have a good night. You're all amazing. Peace, peace, peace.